guys, it's Lexi. So today is my birthday. It's July 26th.
Hi, welcome to my channel. This video is hopefully one of many, but in honor of me turning 23 tomorrow. I wanted to make a video inspired by one of my favorite YouTubers, Maddie Drosbeck. And it's 23 things that I learned in 23 years. A lot of it is probably a reflection of just the past year, but I still wanted to make this video even if I thought that the 23 things that I learned were really more from this year. So let's begin.
Number 1, snoozing actually makes me more tired. Now, I've always known that snoozing wasn't the greatest thing, but I'm somebody who really takes her sleep schedule very, very seriously and has a hard time in the mornings waking up. So I will snooze at every opportunity that I get, and I will seize as many minutes as I possibly can. But I've learned that every time I snooze, it prolongs my tiredness in the morning, and it makes waking up take a little bit longer than it should. Number 2, listening to my body is the ultimate diet. Over the past decade, I've always struggled with my body image. I've searched for the best diet to make me the thinnest, the quickest, completely ignoring my unhappiness and the incompatibility that I was facing. When honing into the signals that my body tells me about the foods that I do eat, and when I'm actually hungry and when I'm not, is really the only diet I need to eat. I'm now aiming for good health and not to be thin. Number 3, not everything is always black and white. Delving into nuances always makes room for the growth. Uncomfortability is where the growth really happens, baby. Keep doing it. Number 4, Substack is really that girl. Now, if you haven't tapped into Substack, I'm gonna need you to tap in, especially if you are a reader or a writer. Substack is a great way to just read a bunch of personal essays about the topics that you like, articles, essays, poetry, just all different kinds of works. And I'm going to be referencing one Substack in particular in the next few minutes that really just changed the way that I've seen things. But there have been a few Substack articles that I can definitely link down below that have changed the way that I see things, and I am so grateful for Substack. Number 5, the price of community is inconvenience. I think over the past few years, I also think because of the pandemic as well, I've found myself really honing into the individualism, but always longing for community. However, I never really took the time to take that step back and realize that community is going to cost me inconvenience. Community and friendships and relationships do not run on a 9-to-5 schedule, and as somebody who is a very big community-oriented or friendship-oriented person, I had to understand that even if I didn't want to do something, sometimes that inconvenience is worth it and it doesn't really matter. Number 6, the intimacy of never speaking to someone ever again. Now, this is actually the Substack that I was referring to. It's a Substack essay that was written, and it talked about the intimacy of never speaking to someone again. And I never knew that there was a intimacy in that, or being able to see it as a positive thing. I've always, longed for the people and the things that I no longer have access to, but there's a beauty in it. There's a beauty in never speaking to somebody ever again and being okay with that. And I think it honestly aligns with the saying that I've once heard, and I never forgot it, where the people who aren't meant to be in your life, you'll never run into them again, even if they live around the corner from you or on the same block, which is so true, because there are people that I am no longer in contact with that I'm sure I could have ran into, but I never did, and I think that's beautiful. Number 7, breathwork. As somebody with anxiety, breathwork has been amazing, and somatic therapy in general has been a game changer, so that's something I've been honing into. Number 8, my emotions are not always the answers. They are a tool, but not the definite and the certain. I can make emotionally based decisions when I can just utilize it as a tool take a step back and look at all the facts before I make a decision. Number 9, tea over coffee any day, but iced lattes are my vice. Number 10, doing the hard things is usually the best way to go. I usually try to avoid the hardest things I could possibly do, but I know deep down it's always the best answer. Number 11, returning home is always a blessing. Being able to return back home, whatever it is you call home, whoever, whatever, should never be taken for granted. Number 12, McGee. That's it. Tap into McGee, truly. Number 13, no such thing as waiting until you are completely healed to be involved with something or someone. You don't have to show up perfect, just show up ready for growth. Learning that has been a game changer because I always thought that I had to show up perfectly in situations, whether that was starting something new, starting a relationship, friends, anything. I had to show up perfectly, but I never taken into account that it's actually just more important for me to be ready to grow and to go through that growth than to actually show up perfectly. Number 14, love is work, and it's the best work you can do. As somebody with acts of service as her top love language and being a Virgo Venus, I absolutely love the work being put into love. Just showing up, acts of service, just working every single day, being the best person you can be for yourself and for the relationship, whether that's a friendship, whether that's community, whether that's a relationship. Just love is work, and we have to admit that. It is not rainbows and sunshine. Love is work, and it's beautiful. Number 15, knowing who I am allows me to know the world. Now, I read this quote last week by Fiona Apple that really rocked me, and I've been just reciting that in my head. And she said, when you know yourself, you know life. And that really put things into perspective because for a long time, especially in my teens, I always looked elsewhere to feel like I belonged somewhere, to find myself, when all I had to do was take that step back and understand myself in order to understand life. I had this really big, important need to understand the world around me, but I looked outward when all I could do was look inward. And so as I'm, in my 20s now, returning home to myself, like I said, has been a blessing, and it has helped me see and understand the world a little bit better. Number 16, grief is just all of the love that I cannot give. So grief has met me on 2 occasions this year, and they've been hard. I got out of a relationship earlier this year, which, grieving somebody who is no longer around but is still alive is one thing, but recently I had lost a family member who completely devastated me, and it has devastated me. And all the grief that I feel is just a reminder of all the love that I've had for the person. And when I see that in perspective, it actually makes it easier for me to pull up a chair and allow grief to sit next to me, and I can talk with it, knowing that that's just love, not having a place to go. So all I can do is welcome that. Number 17, boundaries are lifesavers. As a recovering people pleaser, I wasn't understanding the concept of boundaries for a long time. It's because I didn't have any boundaries myself. But as I'm getting older, I know how important boundaries are to myself, to the relationships that I have, and that's that. Boundaries are super important. Number 18, I don't have to have it all mapped out. For a long time, I've always had this fire under my ass to have it all figured out, and I probably still will have it in the back of my head, but I'm slowly allowing myself to fall into the flow of things and still work hard, still work at the things that I want to do, but knowing that I don't have to have it mapped out because life is so unexpected, you never know what's going to happen. Number 19, New Orleans is my favorite city with my favorite people there. Now, I traveled to New Orleans. New Orleans has been my dream place for a long time, and being able to go to New Orleans has been, I got the warmest hug in my heart. It was such a great feeling to be there. It felt like home, and like I said, they are the best people I've ever met, and I really didn't understand Southern hospitality beforehand, but people in New Orleans, just friendliest people I've ever met in my life, and I love New Orleans, and I can't wait to go back. Number 20, the plan over the mood. discipline is a form of love. Number 21, I do not need to find romantic love when love has always been around me the entire time. Yeah, I've always had this thing growing up where I had to find my soulmate, and that was the end all be all in life. Once I found my soulmate, that was it. But in actuality, I've always been surrounded by love, and I want to keep it that way. Number 22, I am not too much. I will not elaborate on that. And number 23, my dreams are never too big and are always in reach. And as I end this video and I enter my 23rd year of life, which is crazy to say, I just want to let myself know that anything I put my mind and heart to, I can accomplish. So with that being said, this video did get created. I did create this video because this is a dream of mine. And anything I put my mind to, I can do. So I'm gonna end this video with a happy birthday. I love you. And I hope 23 treats you right.